This is my Super Mario 64 ROM hack tier list. So I'm going to do this in the order the games were released. So this list is going to just be ROM hacks that I've played through completely. And we're going to start from oldest all the way to the newest hack. So the oldest hack that I've played is Super Mario 64 The Missing Stars. This hack came out April 19th, 2009. So this is very, very old. This hack's probably older than some of the people that are watching this video. So this hack was made by Frobber, but recently, in 2018, a guy named David made this console compatible. And for the console compatible hacks on this list, I'm going to have this green border around them so you'll know that they're console compatible. When this hack came out in 2009, people did not really care about console compatibility, mainly because nobody had flash cards, you know? So most of the early hacks won't be console compatible unless someone went and fixed them afterwards. So Super Mario 64 The Missing Stars. This hack is a lot of fun. You can play as Mario and Luigi. There's a day and night cycle. For the first major hack that's ever been released, it is really impressive. There were technically hacks that were made before this, but this was like the first like kind of complete game, you know, other than just changing textures or like kind of test levels. If it came out nowadays, I think it would just kind of be seen as bad because the levels are so basic and there isn't that much to it. But for it coming out in 2009, it being the first, it is really impressive. So I'm going to stick The Missing Stars in B. Alright, next up we have the classic Super Mario 74 by Lugmalord. And the way The Missing Stars is like the first complete hack, Super Mario 74 was almost the first full hack. This hack had 151 stars, is just known as one of the classic. This was the first ROM hack I ever played. I think I played it back in 2014, probably only got about 50 stars, but I replayed it for a stream recently and played through it all. And the later levels are incredibly difficult and tedious. I went through almost the entire game without using save states, but I think 2 levels I had to because they can just be brutal towards the end. But I think I'm going to put Super Mario 74 on either A or B. I'll throw it in A. Like, it is really great hack. So we got Super Mario Star Road. So this might be the most iconic Super Mario 64 hack ever. I tried playing through it a couple times with the version that K's made that was console compatible. But recently, about like 4 months ago, I actually just beat it. I just used an emulator because the console compatible hack, it's good, but the Star Road levels are so big that there was some slowdown. So even though it is console compatible, I would recommend if you do play it, just might as well just play it on an emulator. I think I gotta put Star Road at S. It's just so iconic. It's known as the best hack to many people. So I think that's gonna be our first S. The platforming is so tight, it just really feels like a sequel to Mario 64. It's so cool how they have the relic stars at the end, and they just did such a good job even with the hub world and everything. Next you have Peach's Christmas Invitation by K's. So in this hack, the main level is you play on Freeze Easy Peak for Banjo-Kazooie, which is pretty cool. And after that, there's a couple sections that kind of remind me of like New Super Mario Bros. There's like a cool 2D section. But the thing about this hack though, is it's mainly Freeze Easy Peak, and K's is remaking the entirety of Banjo-Kazooie in Mario 64 right now. So when K's releases Banjo-Kazooie in Mario 64, this hack is going to be completely obsolete. Plus the boss at the end is pretty annoying, so as much as I enjoyed it the first time that I played this hack, I think I gotta put it in D. Next up we have Halloween Mayhem by K's and Kinopio. So this hack was made obviously for the Halloween season, but it's actually really cool because there is like 8 kind of subsections which have 1 star each, and they're all pretty short and sweet. And a lot of them have like cool custom objects, and for the time, like not many people were doing custom objects back in 2014, so it was like pretty impressive for the time. And it had a really cool slide, and I'm a sucker for slides. So I think I'm gonna have to put this one in A. Alright, next up we got Scrooge 64, and this one was made by Kinopio. They have Ghosts of the Past, Present, and Future. So the Ghosts of the Past, you have like old Mario levels, like Mario 1 and like World and stuff. Then present, you just kind of got like a level based on like Bowser. Then you have Future with the Galaxies games. This one's good. I remember the levels being like kind of long. It wasn't super memorable. I'm gonna throw this one in B. Alright, so next up we have Goomba's Easter Egg Hunt made by K's. But this one's really cool because he plays a Goomba, and the Goomba actually functions a lot different. It's one of the first hacks that I played where it's a different character and they actually function differently with the jumps and everything. There was a bunch of levels from Glover too, which I appreciated because I actually played Glover. And there was one level just had a bunch of like really cool models in it. This one, I'm gonna throw it in A. Like, I remember enjoying this one a lot. Alright, next one is Operation Christmas made by K's and Bro Dude. And it's pretty much single level with some missions. One of the missions is cool because you have like a King Babam with like a Santa hat on like a sleigh and stuff. It's good, but Honestly, it's not that memorable. Like, I almost had to look it up, and it's a single level. There is some cool stuff here, but I think we're gonna put this one in C. Next up, we got Super Donkey Kong 64 made by Kays. And I remember when this hack came out, I just played it full. I didn't even really have a YouTube channel at the time. My first couple videos on my channel had to do with this hack, like kind of finding like glitches and stuff. I really enjoyed this, and then I replayed it once I made my channel. I could literally see myself playing this a third time because it's been so many years. I love Donkey Kong 64 like Mario. I think this is a really good collaboration hack. I could see people not liking this one that much. I could see it being a little bit jank or dated a bit, but for me personally, this is one of my favorite hacks, so it has to go in S. Alright, next up is Termina Field, made by the Gale 95. Played through this one a while ago. I love Majora's Mask, so I did enjoy this one. This was really cryptic. I remember the last star took me forever to get. It is cool just going around Termina's Mario. I heard that Kays might be working on a sequel to this where it would just be like the full game. So I could see this hack being completely obsolete in like 3 years. So I'm gonna, I almost want to put it in D, but like it is cool going around Termina's Mario. So I'm gonna throw this one in C. Alright, next up we have Super Mario 64 Last Impact by Kays. And what's kind of funny about this game is if you read the romhacking.com description, Kays says, I don't recommend anyone playing this game anymore in 2020X. But it still serves as a museum of new assembly mechanics that will never exist again. This game had a functional calculator. It was like one of the first ROM hacks to have cutscenes. When this game came out, it was huge. I really enjoyed playing it. The difficulty is hard, but I didn't have to use any save states. So far, the only hack on this list that I had to use save states for, I think, is Super Mario 74. Like, looking back at when Last Impact released, I really think it was the most anticipated Super Mario 64 hack ever released. Like, there were so many articles about it, and I think overall, it definitely did live up to everyone's expectations. Like, it was a really good hack. I think in 2023, it's definitely seen as a little bit janky, but I just played it probably about 6 months ago, and I really enjoyed it still, so I think for how influential this hack is, it has to go in S tier. Right, next is Super Trump 64. So this is obviously a meme hack that was made by Kays. There's a single star. It's pretty short. I mean, it's cool. Like, I honestly had fun playing it. I'll throw it in C. Somari Dash 64 by Adobe Meltfire. So this one, it's like kind of like a race, and the way you gain speed is really cool, and it makes you think about the physics a lot differently, so it's really changes the gameplay of Mario 64. There's like a song selection in it too. There's obviously a bunch of custom stuff in this one, and this one it's just a lot of fun to complete. It's almost like a puzzle, kind of like figuring out the controls and stuff. It's really solid. It is a challenge, but it's definitely fun to play, so I think I'm going to put this one in A. Super Mario 64 Sapphire. So this hack was made by Nebula back in December 10th, 2017, but later in 2020, Kays made it console compatible too. This hack is kind of known just as one of the best. It's pretty short with 30 stars. All the levels are just solid, and the difficulty is like perfect. Most ROM hacks are too difficult, but this is one of the ROM hacks that just really nailed the difficulty. It's just really solid level design. There's not many bells and whistles to it. It's just solid platforming. And this is probably the best console exclusive hack so far on the list. I'd recommend Sapphire over Star Road for console, just because Star Road doesn't run the best on console, and Sapphire runs pretty much perfectly on console. So overall, I'm going to put this one in A. Alright, next up is Marble Apotos City, made by Aglap. So this one specifically, it's a non-stop hack, which means that when you get a star, you don't get kicked out, which I usually prefer. It has a really cool Whomp fight, where it's just a huge Whomp, you have to like wall kick to get up. Like, the texture work and platforming are pretty solid, but to be honest, this one's not that memorable. I had to like look back at a level just to remember it. I think the difficulty is pretty good on it too. I think I'm going to put this one, I'll put it in B. Alright, now we got Super Mario 64 in Ocarina of Time by Kays. So this was a really cool hack. I actually just streamed through this game like a couple months ago, so it's pretty fresh in my head right now. And yeah, it is pretty much the entirety of Ocarina of Time in Mario 64. Like, they got every single dungeon in there. Almost every single sound has been imported to the Super Mario 64 sound font, so it sounds amazing. And just going around Hyrule as Mario, it's really, really cool. Like, they got it so it is a platformer, but there are some more puzzle aspects to it, so it's kind of like a Metroidvania-esque game. So I highly, highly recommend this one. And this one's going to just go straight to S. Alright, so now we're going to go for the Super Mario 64 Simple Flip Slide hack. All these came out around August 2018. So I didn't play every single hack in here, but I played a lot of them. So instead of going through these by the date that they were released, they were all released within a month. So I'm going to play them by the order that they place, so first to last. Casino Bingo Slide made by Aglab 2. And this one, oh, this is just a masterpiece. This ended up taking first place in the slide competition. And it's so cool because you have to collect these tokens, and then when you collect them, they show up in your map. There's like some like BLJ spot that's like a cutscene in here. And it's all based on like a Sonic pinball machine. Like, this one is really, really good. I'm gonna put this in S. Cascade Slide by Dan from Goomba TV. So this ended up taking second place. And this hack just looks amazing. Like, I love like how there's like kind of people watching you at the start of the slide. And just the way the slide flows, it flows really well. Like, you can tell that they tested a lot just to make it so that the turns and everything's just perfect on this one. The music's really solid too. Like, if you're looking for a small slide hack, it doesn't get much better than this, but I think I'm gonna throw this one in A. It's not quite as impressive as Casino Bingo Slide, but this is definitely a slide like worth playing. Super Mario and the Land of Sliding Stars made by Kilotix. So this hack took a different approach than the rest of them did for the slide competition. So for this one, you had a big stage, but the slide was the centerpiece of the stage. And this one ended up having 11 stars too, so there was a lot to do in it. So it was a lot longer than the rest of the slide hacks. But this one just had such a unique approach, just having a level based on like a slide in the middle, and just all these like kind of sub areas that you can go to while you're sliding down. And I think it was just really well executed. So I'm gonna throw this one up in A. Alright, next is Weird Snake Dimension by Raikuda. This took 4th place, and this is a snake themed slide. It actually really reminds me of the slide from Angry Aztec from Donkey Kong 64. Where this hack really shines is just how well put together the slide is. There's a bunch of wall kicking spots in the slide, which I always find really cool. And it's honestly probably one of the best designed slides I've ever played. So I feel pretty good just putting this one right in A. Astroslide was made by Nebula, and it ended up taking 5th place in the competition. Oh, this slide was a lot of fun. It's short. To be honest, it took me forever to do. I made a video on this, and the video is really short, but it took me so many attempts to get this slide done. I did enjoy this one, like just like the aesthetics and the vibe of it. You have like the fairy fountain theme going, and it just looks so cool. And I am a sucker for slides. Put this one in A. Alright, next up is Super Mario 64 Slide Under Construction made by Kramer. So this one, just the premise of it I find is so cool. The fact that like, okay, the slide's under construction, and through this wall all along has been this. And you go through this place, and you have this kind of cool cloud area. And it's really cool that they like reuse all the textures. It really seems like it's part of Mario 64. This one I just thought was really cool. I think it's like underrated too. Like, I think I'm gonna throw this one in A. This is one of those hacks that I played and I was like, just thought it was so cool. Alright, Bowser Castle Break-In by Daniel EDC. This took 7th place in the competition. This one's really cool. It actually has a story. You gotta like go through a cave to open a cannon to break into Bowser's castle. And there's multiple different slides, and there's even a bonus slide. And the slides have like good wall kicking spots, and overall it's just another really solid slide. So this one is one of the few that actually has like a compelling story, and it's a bit longer than a lot of them, so I'm gonna put this one in A. Super Mario 64 Racing by Kaze, and this hack took 8th place in the competition. So this one's really cool. You have 4 tracks that you race on, and you actually race against like NPCs. So like there's a lot of custom coding in this one. Kaze edited the physics so that you don't really lose speed when you're sliding. So it makes for like a pretty interesting hack here. All 4 tracks are pretty fun. The last track is really difficult. I know A's getting a little cluttered. What can I say? I just love slide hacks. This one's going in A. Next up we got Bowser Castle Slide made by Low Poly SM64. So this one is based off Bowser's Castle in Mario Kart 64. And it's just a nice little race course. So this one ended up getting 9th place in the competition. But I remember it being a little bit janky, like a couple of the stars you couldn't even collect because it had duplicate IDs. I think this one, I think it's gotta go. I'll throw this one in B. Alright, next up is Sandbird's Water Slide by Dreadnought. And this one, it's like a water slide, so you use a shell. I mean, the mechanic is cool, using a shell for a slide, but I do prefer the physics of just sliding than the physics of using a shell. I'm gonna throw this one in C though. Right, next up is Scuttle Slide, made by Jesus Yoshi 54. It is cool. It's not how you think. If you fall off the slide, you're automatically dead. And the sliding mechanics are good, but just the look of it, it's just, Doesn't really have much of a theme compared to the rest of the slides. Yeah, like it is fun. It is a solid slide. Yeah, this one ended up taking 11th place. I mean, if you just rate it on a slide, it is solid. If you rate it on like aesthetics and stuff, like it is cool textures that they use for the slides, but there's not much of a theme if you compare this to something like Astroslide per se. So I'm gonna throw this in C. All right, next up is Night of Nights. This is by Fire Mario 74. So this slide is just incredibly cool looking. It is really, really difficult to do. It has kind of like this medieval theme to it, and I think part of it you have to like bomb clip or something in it. I think this one gets a lot of flack because it's a little bit too difficult. For like a Cascade Slide, this is like pretty sick. Honestly, I think I gotta throw this one in A. Next up is Egg Slide by Flag. And this one ended up taking 13th place in the competition. But this one, to be honest, it's just not textured well. It doesn't look that nice. Like the sliding is good compared to the rest of the slides on this list, which kind of have a theme. I think this is gonna go in D here. Next up is Sandy Spire Slides, made by usernames are Spiders, and this took 14th place. It's almost like if Shifting Sand had a slide. The texture in the background's a little bit disorienting, but overall I think it's a pretty solid slide. I think I'm gonna put this one, B tier is actually really strong. Like I think I'm gonna throw this one in B. All right, and now that's it for the slide hacks that I played. There are technically more in the competition, but those are the ones that I played through. All right, next up we have Waluigi's Taco Stand, made by Kaze. And this is console compatible too. It was like kind of like Kaze's first console compatible hack. And it was just kind of a meme. It is cool, like you have to like deliver ingredients and stuff, and it is impressive for the time. It is pretty short and sweet. Waluigi's Taco Stand is kind of just a meme game. It is good, like it's very close to A, but I think I'm gonna slide it into B here. All right, next up is Bounce Tales 64 by Auto. So this one's also console compatible. A game called Bounce Tales, and he pretty much made it in Mario 64. There's a bunch of different levels. It is really impressive actually, and it was like one of the first games to work on console. I remember playing through it. It is really cool how it was based off a completely different game. I'm gonna throw this one in A tier. Right, next up is Dramatic TikTok Tower by Kaze, and it's designed for Super Mario 64 experts. I played through it, and it is really cool, the theming of TikTok Clock. Like, the theming is down, and just like the Kaizo stuff with the way you have to do wall jumps and like long jumps. I think it is a really cool Kaizo hack. I think they did a really good job with it. It's most Kaizo hacks, they focus a lot on difficulty and not on aesthetics. So I think just the look of that is just really good. We will throw this into B, but it'll be a high B. All right, Super Mario Bros. Super Show 64 by Pasta Power. So this one's super cool because it's based off of some specific episodes of the show. And they kind of like just recreated these episodes in the Super Mario 64 engine. I find it really cool when you have like a piece of media, like a cartoon show, and someone takes that and makes it into levels. So I was really impressed by this one. 25 stars, so it's a little bit longer. There's just so much charm and personality with the sound effects and music, and like all the little changes, and even just the difficulties like spot on too. So this one's got to go right in S. All right, so next we're gonna look at the first Simple Flips Halloween hack competition. I've only played a couple of these. So the one that took first place is Halloween at Boo's, made by Flag. This hack has a sweet custom model of Mario, and the coins are retextured to candies, and there's actually like a fair bit of custom stuff in here. Just fits the Halloween theme perfectly, and the difficulty's like spot on. There's a cool little boss battle at the end. And overall, this is just a solid hack. It's perfect for the Halloween season. I'm gonna put this one in A. All right, next up is Penguin, which took second place in the competition and is made by usernames are Spiders. So this one, you have an evil penguin that's chasing you, and it's kind of like the Green Demon Challenge. This hack is pretty challenging. It probably took me over an hour and a half to beat. And it is pretty thrilling when the penguin's chasing you. So this is overall a really great hack. I'd throw this one in B. All right, next we're gonna look at Bell Tower Forest, which was made for the Simple Flips Halloween hacking competition, made by Down by Gunplay TV, and it ended up taking third place in the competition. It's just an all-around, just really good Halloween level. The geometry and collision maps are different, which you rarely see in ROM hacks, so that was actually cool that they did that. Yeah, I don't think it's good enough for A, but it is just a solid hack overall. I think it can definitely go B. Mario's Mansion. This one, it doesn't show which place it took, so this one's made by Kaze. And you have the Mad Piano chasing you. This one took me forever to get, and to be honest, for a hack made by Kaze puts a pretty high bar. And this hack, like the mansion isn't that detailed. Extra work is pretty meh. If you're looking for a Halloween hack where something chases you, I just say just go with Demonic Penguin, and I'm gonna put this one in D. Next up is Thousand Year Door 64, made by Aglapt and Toaster Ketchup. This hack came out 2017. So this hack, I played through it. It is good, it's fun, but it was like a little bit tedious, and it's not really like the complete game. It is a lot of it though. I mean, Thousand Year Door is huge. There's no real custom stuff, so a hack like Last Impact with cutscenes and just kind of cool ASM. I really don't remember any sort of like custom boss fights. It's like, it kind of seems like a hack that would have came out in like 2013. So there's nothing in there to really wow you, but it's just Thousand Year Door levels with stars and coins put in them. It could be a little bit cryptic at times, but I did have fun with it. I think this one, I'm gonna have to throw this one in B too. If you like Thousand Year Door, this is definitely worth playing. Next up we have the reimagined level competition by Simple Flips. First up, we have Whomp's Castle by Flag. So this one took first place. This one is really cool. Like the level changes as you're in it. And you have this really cool pause menu. This reimagined competition I was a huge fan of. This level in particular, yeah, to see Whomp's Fortress, like what it could have been. But really recommend this one. It's got to go S or A. I think I'm gonna throw this one in S. Like it's just really solid. All right, next up is MarioWare 64, made by Grademon DGT. And this one, it's like fun little challenges. It's so clever how they did it. So this hack is based on the WarioWare games. So you kind of have like bite-sized portions of different areas from different Super Mario 64 levels, and you have to complete them all within the time limit. So I think it's just a super cool concept. One with the theming like just perfectly. It is a challenge and it's a fun challenge. So I think overall I'll put this one in A. Alright, so third is Snowman's Land Remade, made by Luigi Man 04. And this one, it's just a good rendition of Snowman's Land Remade, just like what the level could have been. This one, I don't think it's quite as cool as like the other two, but it's still like really well done. I think this one might go in B. Next up is Super Mario 64 Castle Remix, made by Low Poly SM64. And this one, oh, it just looks so good, like the castle and everything. Yeah, so then this one took fourth place. And the person that's making this is actually working on remaking the entirety of Mario 64 too. So this is almost like a demo just for that. And I just think it just looks fantastic. And just the level design on this one's really good too. I'm gonna throw this one in A. All right, next up, we got Hazy Maze City by Cheesepin. So this one took fifth place in the competition, and this one's really solid. It has like a whole half A press thing. It kind of combines Wet Dry World's City with Hazy Maze Cave. Just overall, this one was really cool. I'm gonna throw this one in A. All right, next up we have Crystal Caverns, made by Luigi Man 0640. So this level is based on the Metal Cap stage from Super Mario 64. And obviously the Metal Cap stage is really small. So this level asks the question is, what if the Metal Cap stage was its own full stage? So overall, they did a really good job just expanding on the stage, using the Metal Cap stage for all the inspiration. And yeah, overall, I'm gonna put this one in B. Next up is Cool Bay by Rovert. So this one, it combines Jolly Roger Bay with Cool Mountain. So the levels are just kind of combined at the bottom of Cool Mountain. And now you're exploring Jolly Roger Bay in winter. So now it's like frozen over, and it's pretty different, and there's lots of cool little custom things in it. It's just cool to see those two levels combined together. So in the end, I'm gonna put this one at B. All right, so this next hack is called Hazy Maze Slide, and it's by a guy named Snooplax. And I've gotta say, I tried this. This is the best hack I've ever played. This is going right at the top of S tier. No, okay, so this is a hack that I made. This was the first Mario hack I ever made, and to be honest, there's no coins in it, no enemies. And the level, it works decently. Like, it rated high in the competition because Simple Flips liked it, but looking back, it isn't that great. It is console compatible, just because it is kind of a mess, but I still think it's worth playing. I'm gonna put it in C. Okay, so next up is Castle Ungrounded, and this one ended up taking 10th place. But this one's really cool because there's like a hole in the castle you gotta go down, and there's this like sweet little Koopa race. Then you go to the end and it's like kind of like a Super Mario Galaxy thing at the end. So overall, I think it's pretty sweet, but I think overall, I think this is gonna go in the B tier. Alright, next up is Rainbow Blast, which is pretty much Rainbow Ride, like, remade. And it's pretty cool, like, the colors. They did a really good job remaking it. This one, I kind of forgot about it compared to the rest of them, though, so it shows that didn't really resonate with me much. But I think I'm still going to throw it in B tier, because I was looking back at the video that I made about it, and it does look pretty good. Next up is Prehistoric Fortress by Jonga. And this one ended up getting 19th place, but I think it ranked so low mainly because this is more based off of Mario Odyssey, and this was for the reimagined Super Mario 64 competition. So yeah, it's pretty much some of Cascade Kingdom in Super Mario 64. And yeah, overall, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, and I like the outfit Mario wears and everything. I think this one's just a solid B. The first 50 hacks that I've played through 150, so I think this is going to be part 1 of a possible 3-part series. If you guys enjoyed this, if you could leave a like, I'd really appreciate it. I'll tell you what, if this video hits 1,000 likes, I'll make a part 2, because I'm looking at it. How much footage do I have here? An hour and 48 minutes of footage. I'm going to be doing a lot of editing. This video will probably take me like so long to make. So yeah, if you enjoy this, if this video hits 1,000 likes, I'll make a part 2, where I'll probably go over the next 50 hacks, and then probably a part 3 for the next 50, so I can rank all 150 hacks that I've played. But anyways, thank you guys for checking out this video. I really appreciate it, and hope that you guys all have a fantastic day.